Quick reminder that the description has a link to a resource website that you can use to help contribute to ongoing Black Lives Matter organizations. You can do a myriad of things like donate to bail funds or sign petitions, all of which go a long way to fighting systemic racism. Thank you very much for your time. Hello everyone, GoldenNova here, and welcome to Field Test, a series where we sleeve up my latest experiment and see how it operates out in the wild. If you want to see me run these decks through their paces live, or perhaps catch a duel with me, you can find me right here on YouTube every Friday at 8 PM Central Time. Subscribing will keep you posted, and if you want to stay in the loop on any updates, follow the link in the description for my Twitter. Okay, shameless self-promotion aside, let's talk about today's thought experiment, Madolche. That's right, preheat your ovens to 400 degrees and grab your whisk, cause we're about to whip the competition into a nice, consistent batter so we can bake a delicious victory cake. Madolche are known for two things. 1. Embodying dangerous levels of cuteness, and 2. Using said cuteness as a ruse to fool those unaware into a false sense of security before scooping up their entire field, paving the way for an OTK. While it takes a little bit of practice, and a fair bit of patience considering how many steps it takes, once you get a handle on it, you'll have a deck that excels at going second with the room to run all the game's best equalizers. If you're not up to date on the archetype, there's a link in the top right for you with a rundown of all currently available Madolche cards, including all the latest support in Eternity Code. But if you're all caught up, let's take a look at the list I piloted. We're running 3 Magellan, 3 Angeli, 3 Petting Cessir, 2 Hoot Cake, 2 Messin Gelato, 1 Pudding Cess, 3 Nibiru, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Sideframe Gear Gamma and 1 Driver to match, 2 Salon, 1 Chateau, 1 Ticket, 3 Extravagance, 3 Called by the Grave, 2 Cosmic Cyclone, 3 Infinite Impermanence, and 2 Promenade. In the extra, we're running 3 Chocoala Mode, 3 Tiramisu, 3 Glace Soufflé, 3 Fresh Sistart, 1 Borrelsword Dragon, 1 Exciton Knight, and 1 Tornado Dragon. Now, let's move on to the test footage. Our first duel is up against Dream Mirror. Normally I'd be making fun of them, but since they trounced us last time, I'm gonna reel that in a little bit. Let's see if we can earn some of our dignity back from these daring dreamers. They'll start by playing Dream Mirror of Terror and setting a card, then normal summoning Light-Eye Kilos before passing to us. We'll start by activating Petting Cessir in hand, and they'll chain the Light-Eye Kilos, we'll chain the Ash Blossom to stop that, but they'll chain Hypnagogia to put both Dream Mirrors onto the board. Petting Cessir will resolve, special summoning Pudding Cess from deck, then we'll play Madolche Chateau over their Dream Mirror of Terror. We'll overlay into Glace Soufflé, the detached material, just so we can get a Madolche engraved, then overlay for Chocoala Mode, returning that Petting Cessir back into our deck. This will trigger Chocoala Mode, summoning Hoot Cake from deck. We'll use its effect, banishing the Ash Blossom to summon a Messin Gelato, then use its on-summon effect to search Madolche's Salon. We'll play it, then use the extra normal summon to put Petting Cessir to field, overlaying for Tiramisu. We'll activate its effect to shuffle away their Dream Mirror of Joy, putting a Messin Gelato back into our hand. Salon will trigger, setting a Madolche Ticket to field, then we'll normal summon the Gelato, then go to battle phase, ending the game with 3,000, 2,000, 2,100, then 2,700 points of damage. Our second game is up against Eldlich. This Golden Lord may have the leg up in terms of wealth, but we're richer in one very important regard. Our gourmet chocolate cakes. Let's just hope that translates well to dueling. They'll start by setting 2 and passing, alright. We'll play Madolche's Salon and use the extra normal summon to put Angeli to field. We'll activate their effect to special summon Hoot Cake from deck, then we'll use their effect to banish the Angeli to special summon a Petting Cessir from deck. This will activate the Petting Cessir, summoning Pudding Cess from deck, then overlaying for Glace Soufflé. We'll activate the effect to put a Madolche material in grave, then overlay for Chocoala Mode. We'll activate their effect, returning the Petting Cessir, triggering both the Salon and Chocoala Mode. We summon Messin Gelato and set a Promenade, but I find out at this point that this forces the Messin Gelato to miss timing, so we go to battle phase. They'll summon both their Golden Land monsters, and we attack over them with Chocoala Mode and Messin Gelato before getting in with 1,500 with Hoot Cake. In May Phase 2, we'll set an Impermanence and link for Fresh Sistart before passing to our opponent. On their turn they play Lightning Storm, but we'll chain Promenade to negate it and put the Hoot Cake back in our hand. This triggers the Salon, so we get another Promenade for next turn. Then they'll play Mayakashi's Return, but we'll negate it with Ash Blossom. They'll set a monster, and then activate both their Golden Land monsters to set a Scarlet Sanguine and a White Destiny to the field before passing to us. On our turn, we'll normal summon Hoot Cake, using its effect to banish the Ash Blossom engraved to summon a Messin Gelato from deck. When we activate its effect, they'll chain Scarlet Sanguine, but we'll discard the Ash to keep them from getting a free Eldlich. Messin Gelato will search as the ticket, which we'll then play. Chocoala Mode will then return the Promenade back to our deck, which will trigger the ticket, Salon, and Chocoala Mode. Altogether, this will summon an Angeli from deck, set a Chateau from deck, and special summon a Madolche from deck. We'll overlay for Tiramisu, using its effect to shuffle away the last 2 cards on their field. When that's done, we'll flip up the Chateau, then move to battle phase, attacking directly for 3,000, 2,700, and 2,000 for game. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good. Let's move on to our best of 3. Rank Up Yu-Gi-Oh! Has stepped up to the plate once again, and they're piloting Paleo Frogs. It's time to show them the power of pudding. They'll start by normal summoning Swap Frog, but when they go to activate its effect, we'll activate Cyframe Gear Gamma in hand to negate and destroy them. They'll set 3 and pass to us, very intimidating considering what we're dueling. On our turn, we'll special summon Petting Cessire from hand, and when we go to activate its second effect on field, they'll chain the Lost Winds, so we do not have any more plays this turn. We'll set 2 impermanents in their cards columns and then pass back to them. They don't draw anything they can use, so they pass back to us. We'll play Pot of Extravagance, looking for something to jumpstart our plays. And hey, Salon! We'll play that and normal summon Angeli, we'll activate its effect, but then they chain the Ash Blossom, so we are still without a play. On their turn, they'll draw and then set the Compulse, and then pass back to us. We draw Messenger Gelato, we normal summon it, and then we'll go right to battle phase, attacking directly for 1,600. They'll set a card and then pass back to us. For turn, we draw Magellan, so we'll use our extra normal summon to put them to field, using their effect to search for Pudding Cess. We'll tribute over Petting Cessire for them and then go to battle phase. Pudding Cess will attack, but it gets flipped face down by Canadia, then we'll attack their Ronin Totem with Messenger Gelato, losing 400. We use our level 4s to overlay for Tiramisu, but they'll get the Lost Winds back, they'll chain the Compulse to get rid of Tiramisu, and then their Canadia will go back to their field. With nothing else, we have to pass back to them. On their turn, they'll overlay for an Opabinia, but when they go to search, we'll chain the Infinite Impermanence so they don't get the free card. With nothing else, they pass to us. On our turn, we'll flip up the Pudding Cess, activate Infinite Impermanence to negate the Opabinia's effect so it can be affected by monster effects, we'll attack it with Pudding Cess, but we get Infinite Impermanence so we take 1,400 points of damage, and we don't get to destroy it, so with nothing else, we set 1 and pass to them. On their turn, they'll try to summon the Ronin Totem from grave, but we have to Called by the Grave for it. Unfortunately, they have other plays in mind for us. They'll normal summon Marincess Seahorse and link into Blue Slug, using Blue Slug's effect to get back the Seahorse and special summoning them. They'll link for Coral Anemone, then play Marincess Battle Ocean, then they'll activate Coral Anemone to put the Seahorse to field, but then we'll chain the Nibiru. Unfortunately, Opabinia stays on the field because it's unaffected. Coral Anemone will trigger putting the Seahorse back in hand, then Opabinia will grab them in Olean Age, which they'll set, and then pass back to us. We'll attempt to attack over the Nibiru token, but they have the Lost Winds, so our Nibiru is down to 1,500. We set a Promenade, and then pass to them. They'll use Oleanades targeting our Promenade, we'll activate it targeting their Opabinia so they can't activate Paleozoics from hand, but they still get the Canadia from their graveyard. We put Angeli to hand, and this triggers Salon setting another Promenade from deck. They'll link 2 into Crystal Heart, normal summon Seahorse, link into Blue Slug, use its effect to get back the Seahorse to special summon them, link 2 into Coral Anemone, and use their effect to summon back the Opabinia so that it's no longer negated, play a Dino-Mishis from hand to banish our Salon, they get an Oleanades back from grave, then they'll link summon into Wonderheart. Marincess Battle Ocean will trigger, giving Wonderheart 3 equipped cards, boosting it up to 4,400 attack. We'll use its effect to summon Coral Anemone when it attacks, dealing a huge amount of damage to us, and ending the game. Ooh, that was a crazy way to end a game. Now, they're the trap deck, so I'm going to play against type and go first this time. I foresee no issues arriving from this decision. We'll start by playing Extravagance, looking for something to maybe unlock this hand. Who Cake isn't it? We'll set it and then... oh. Yeah, that was a huge misclick on my part. Future Nova, make sure to edit this so that this looks like they, I don't know, found some way to use a Dino-Mishis to banish my card so I don't look like a huge idiot. Thanks, I appreciate it. They'll normal summon Swap Frog, and we can't even use the Gamma against it because we set a monster. We use Impermanence on it, but unfortunately, it returns to hand as cost for the normal summon effect, so they can discard the Dupe Frog in hand to special summon it to put Ronin Toad in grave. They'll special summon it, then overlay into Totally Awesome, set 3, and attack over Hoot Cake with the Toad. Hoot Cake will return to our deck, and then they pass to us. On our standby phase, they'll activate the Toad to summon a frog out of their deck, we'll chain the Gamma to negate it, but then they'll chain the Toad to negate the negate, so they get a frog out of their deck and they take our Gamma, and we don't even get a driver to retaliate with. And then Totally Awesome will use its effect to just return to the extra deck anyway. To avoid them getting negated in the future, we'll just play Salon and take it and then pass to them. On their turn, they'll flip up our Gamma, then they'll banish the Swap Frog in grave to summon their Rodent Totem before overlaying for Totally Awesome. They'll go to battle phase, attacking us for 22 and 1,000 damage, before setting 1 card and passing to us. For turn, we draw Angeli. Totally Awesome will summon a swap frog from deck that will normal summon the Angeli. They'll chain the Canadia though, and it'll get flipped face down, and with nothing else, we pass to them. Okay, check this out. In Standby, they'll activate Toad, chain the Lost Winds to negate their own Swap Frog, to trigger the Canadian Grave so that during main phase, they now have enough material to overlay for Paleozoic Anomalocaris. Leaves its effect to destroy our Angeli, and when its mandatory effect goes off, they'll negate it with Toad. Totally Awesome will go back to their extra deck, then Ronin Toad will summon itself to remake the Totally Awesome. They'll normal Seahorse, link for Blue Slug, the Blue Slug will put Seahorse back in hand so they can special summon it, link into Coral Anemone, they'll play Battle Ocean, use Coral Anemone to special summon the Seahorse, link into Marbled Rock, this will activate Battle Ocean and Coral Anemone, putting Seahorse in hand and equipping the Marbled Rock with 2 Link monsters. They'll go to battle phase, attack us for 3,900, and end the game. Well, that was a grind. Informative and interesting, but very, very grindy. I guess it goes to show the current build doesn't really deal well with lots of interaction, but I feel like proper side decking can help with this. But that's enough of me making excuses. Let's move on to what works and what needs work. First, this deck runs a ton of starter cards. Magellan, Petting Saussure, and Angeli can make up a quarter of your deck, making it stupid consistent to open with a way to get to your game plan. Second, the compact engine means that you really can include a variety of powerful hand traps and equalizers. The only thing better than being able to deal with just about any card with Tiramisu is making it so they never hit the board in the first place. Third, the new additions from Eternity Code cannot be overhyped. Salon can turn a monster logged hand into a starter it wouldn't have been otherwise, but oddly doesn't come up very often considering the aforementioned compact engine. However, it does search Promenade, and that card is ridiculously strong. While it's not an Omni-Negate, it's a flexible answer to a wide variety of things your opponent can do, and makes going first an even more palatable option. But then there's the downsides. First, it does take forever to get your combo going. Not like over the course of several turns long, but there are a lot of steps. It's certainly not the kind of deck you'd want to be piloting in time. Combine that with a bunch of small but important interactions, like the specifics of Chocoala mode, and there are a lot of failure points if you're not careful. Second, the compact engine is a bit of a double-edged sword. While you have very strong starter cards, the hands where you pull just hand traps can mean that, while you have a lot of cards to stop your opponent, you won't be able to capitalize on it. And the amount of feel-bad moments when you draw Nibiru for turn is unreal. Third, the deck very much relies on its equalizers. Salon and Petting Saussure do help with playing around interaction, but the engine as a whole is very susceptible to interruption. Side decking is going to be key to winning most of your matches, and honestly, that already puts you on the back foot compared to other competitive strategies. If you take this to a tournament, be prepared to adapt, because otherwise you're going to have a rough time in the X2 bracket. All in all, Madolche have very solid plays and rewards a deep understanding of your own deck as well as the wider competitive field. There are quite a few barriers to entry, but the theme is a proven rogue threat, and if you put in the work and practice the recipe, you'll have a prize-winning confection that will wow the judges. But now, I want to hear what you all think. What changes would you have made to the build to make it better? And do you think I'm overestimating the chances of these Duchesses of Dessert? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.